Thanks a lot for that show floor coverage, Homer. Sean back here on the set, and we're about to have a look at what some might consider the most anticipated game of 2011. I am, of course, referring to Battlefield 3. We've got Patrick Bach here from DICE, who's here to tell us all about it. Patrick, thanks a lot for coming on our stage show.
Thank you.
So you guys demoed the game. You actually played the game during the press conference yesterday. Tell us about what sort of reaction you got from that.
Well, of course we played the game. It needs to be live software, I think, at least. So the reactions was, more or less overwhelmingly positive. People like the fact that we're doing something different and that we're showing stuff that is another way of doing a first-person shooter. And in this case, driving a tank. Just the fantasy of driving a tank in a big open landscape is a very powerful fantasy.
The vehicles, the big open landscape, definitely harkening back to the Battlefield traditions, right? So we've actually got a few videos of the game to show, and you're going to give us a little bit of context, describe what's going on in these. The first one is sort of an introduction to the new engine, Frostbite 2, right?
Yes. So Frostbite 2 in general is what powers the game. We had to build this engine to be able to even build this game. When we started the design of the game, we saw quite soon that if we want to build this game, you need a new generation of technology, and that technology didn't exist. So we couldn't have built this game on another game engine.
All right, guys, do we have the video running right now? Because we have.
That's it.
That's it.
This is Frostbite 2 engine, and you can see the armor is really shining.
This is it. Patrick has a sneak peek at the next game that we're showing. Okay, here we go. It's on that smaller screen right there. Okay. Just tell us what's going on here.
So what's going on? We showcase some of the cool pillars of the engine. So animation is of course very important, both for single player and multiplayer. You can see that all the animations are silky smooth. A lot of these clips are actually from multiplayer. So you can see things going in and out of cool animations. Destruction, a big important part of all Battlefield games nowadays. Both the small scale destruction up to the big scale destruction where you blow houses, facades of houses. Of course, the scale, you need to be able to have this big open landscape. So if you want to have tanks, if you want to have jets, it needs to be big. Rendering and the lighting needs to be best in class. Audio, the same. If you want to create an authentic game, this is what you need to be able to do that.
Just a reminder, everybody, that we will be taking questions either on the spot at GameSpot.com, or you can tweet us to @GameSpot, and we'll have Patrick answer some of your most burning questions. Let's see if we have any questions in here just yet. Let's see. Sirs from Sweden is wondering if the leveling system will work similarly in Battlefield 3 to previous games in terms of, I guess, multiplayer.
Yeah. So the persistence system, or the ranking system and the unlock system, will be a hybrid from what we've seen before in both Battlefield 2, but also from the Battlefield Bad Company 2 game. We learned a lot from that game, so we want to build on that experience, as well as deepening the experience even further into something that we've never done before. So, yes.
All right. So we've actually, our second video has started to roll right here. It's, as you can tell, dinosaurs are a new feature in Battlefield 3.
You need to have dinosaurs.
You absolutely need to. Just kidding, it was a toy dinosaur. We're actually on giant, devastating tanks.
Yeah, so in general, this is what we talked about when it comes to scale. Of course, you want the big open landscape to look good. You need to be able to feel like you're actually there. The tank is both, you start off with being a more rail, where you're actually on the gunner position, and then of course you move into the tank, and then you take control of the tank, so it's you actually driving the tank. And this is actually from a mission in the game, so this is the opening, and then the game of course develops over time to more different both locations and more varied gameplay, of course.
So we were actually chatting a little bit before we got started here about the importance of PC as the lead platform for Battlefield 3. Can you describe to everybody why you guys are focusing so hard on PC, making sure that the game is as best as possible on cutting edge technology, and then sort of working your way from there?
our goal has always been to push the limits of first-person shooters. We want to take the first-person shooters into the next generation, and to be able to do that, we need to try things out on the most powerful systems that are out there to more as prototype the fidelity and the emotion we want to get out of this game. So by doing that, we can actually make a better game on the consoles, because then we know exactly what's needed to create this emotion. And when you then scale it back into the consoles, you actually get the same feeling that you had on the high-end PCs. And I think the consumers will see that when we start showing the console, that this is actually a big benefit for the consoles as well.
Right. And I mean, you can see the benefits of that right here. It's a pretty amazing looking game in terms of just the graphical fidelity that you guys are able to get out of this engine.
Yeah, in general, we want to be able to go from these types of environments, this type of gameplay, to the more infantry-based, urban-focused gameplay that we've seen in earlier footage from Battlefield 3. So this is a way for us to show range, and Battlefield has always been about infantry and vehicles. So this is our vehicle example from the single player.
All right. Jonas from Denmark is wondering, we're seeing tanks right here. How about airplanes? Are we going to be able to get into the sky?
Of course. We will have jets in Battlefield 3, of course, both in multiplayer and single player. And that was a very dear subject to most Battlefield 2 fans, that those needed to come back into the game. And we, of course, agree with that conclusion. Jets are really, really cool, so they have a very natural place in Battlefield 3.
Now, are there any differences between multiplayer vehicle selection and PC and the console versions?
No, we have jets on the console as well, of course, and as well as tanks and the smaller vehicles as well.
Which that sort of leads us to our next question from Eric Martin in Illinois, wondering about the size of the maps on PC versus the console version.
We do have bigger player count on PC. You can play up to 64 players on a PC, and on console it's up to 24 players. That's based on the knowledge we had from the bad companies here. Is that 24 players is a good balanced mix of number of players, vehicles, destruction, scale, and of course a great first-person shooter experience.
All right, we're getting. The buzz around this game is kind of astounding, because we're getting like just an avalanche of questions coming in from everybody who are every possible question that you could ask about this. Like, for example, Anastasis from Greece is wondering, is there going to be a Move edition for the PS3?
Sorry?
Move controls for PS3?
No, we won't have Move control for the PS3. Okay. We think a first-person shooter works best with a controller. We think the Move is awesome, but for Battlefield 3, we think the normal controller is the way to go forward.
Okay. Let's see. All right. Let's see. We're still getting. I mean, there's a pretty overwhelming sentiment here, and people are curious about the multiplayer beta.
Yeah.
What's the deal with that? What are the platforms it's going to be out for, and when is that beta going to start?
I won't give you an exact date. It will be on all platforms, of course, and it will be in September. So we will, of course, make sure that everyone can try the game before they buy it, because we know that it's a great game, and if you try it, you will like it.
Cool. All right, Patrick, well, I appreciate you coming by. The game is looking, like I said, fantastic. It's one of my most anticipated games of the year. So I'm looking forward to the chance that we're going to get a chance to see a little bit more of it. But again, I really appreciate you coming by to tell us a little bit more about Battlefield 3.
Yeah.
All right, so that's it for Battlefield 3.